You know, we often think that life is shaped by circumstances, by the economy, by luck, by what other people do. But more often than not, life is shaped by the stories we tell about it. By the quiet, invisible narratives we repeat to ourselves when no one else is listening. And today, I want to share a story with you about that, about how the stories we tell, even without meaning to, can quietly define the way we live. It's a story about a man I once knew. Let's call him Nathan. Nathan was brilliant, hardworking. You'd meet him and instantly admire his drive. From the outside, you'd think he had it all together, a steady job, a good education, a house he could call his own. But one afternoon, over a simple cup of coffee in a worn-out cafe, Nathan opened up about something that had weighed heavily on him for years. He stared into his cup for a long time before he finally said, "You know, I don't get it. I'm earning more now than I ever have. I should be comfortable. I should feel safe. But it's like, no matter what, money still feels tight. It still feels like I'm just surviving. Like the finish line is always just a little bit further away." There was pain in his voice, an exhaustion deeper than just tiredness from work. And as he spoke, it was like a dam broke open. Nathan began sharing stories from his childhood, stories of growing up watching his parents wrestle with money problems day after day. He remembered his father working double shifts, coming home worn and quiet. He remembered his mother pacing late into the night, calculating bills on scraps of paper, worrying aloud about groceries and rent. He remembered being a little boy, pretending to be asleep while listening to the soft arguments behind closed doors about how they'd make it through the month. Nathan smiled sadly and said, "I guess. Somewhere along the way, I just absorbed it. Like it seeped into my skin. This idea that no matter how hard you work, it's never enough. That worry is normal. That it's just how life is." And then he looked around, gesturing toward the world beyond that little cafe window, and said, "Everyone I know struggles. My friends, my family. They're all worried about money too. It's like a normal state of being. Always chasing, always fearing. I don't even know if real financial freedom is possible for people like us." And right there, Nathan unknowingly revealed something powerful. He wasn't just living a financial reality. He was living a story, a deep, emotional, persistent story that had taken root decades ago, wrapped itself around his mind and heart, and grown into his adult life. He wasn't just earning and spending. He was reliving a script, one that told him survival was the best he could hope for, that no matter how hard he tried, he'd always be one step behind. And here's the thing about stories like Nathan's: once you start telling them, they pull you deeper in. You justify your struggles by pointing to the past. You gather evidence from the present to prove the story true. You project fears into the future because you expect the same patterns to repeat. It's not just memory, it's a living vibration. And like attracts like, the law of attraction, or simply the emotional momentum we generate, ensures that the story we focus on, especially with deep emotion, continues to echo forward. When you tell a story of lack, you invite more lack. When you tell a story of struggle, you invite more struggle. It's not because life is punishing you. It's because you're tuning your internal compass toward it, like setting a GPS destination, even without realizing it. But here's where it gets hopeful. Here's where everything can change. You can tell a new story. You can begin, even when your outer circumstances haven't caught up yet, to shift the narrative you live by. It might start small. It might feel awkward, even dishonest at first, because the old story is so familiar, so comfortable in its sadness. But every small shift matters. You might begin by saying, "I am learning to see abundance around me. There are opportunities I haven't discovered yet. I am open to life surprising me with good things. My past doesn't define what my future can become. You don't erase the old story by force. You soften it by choosing a different focus, day by day, thought by thought. And every time you choose appreciation over resentment. Every time you focus on growth instead of fear. Every time you catch yourself in an old pattern and gently steer toward a new one. You're tuning yourself to a different destiny. You're planting seeds of wealth, not just financial wealth, but emotional, spiritual, and relational richness. Seeds that will grow roots deeper than fear ever did. Nathan didn't change overnight. There were setbacks. There were moments when the old story came roaring back, demanding to be believed. But Nathan kept choosing differently. He practiced noticing small wins. He started blessing the money he had, instead of cursing what he lacked. He celebrated tiny progress. He started seeing possibility instead of inevitability. And little by little, life responded. Unexpected opportunities came. New relationships formed. Relief replaced fear. Confidence replaced anxiety. Today, Nathan would tell you that financial abundance isn't just about numbers in a bank account, it's about the story you tell yourself about what's possible. It's about choosing a new narrative even before the evidence shows up. It's about trusting that your inner shift will eventually reshape your outer world. And you? You can start today. What story have you been telling about money, about love, about life? Is it a story that uplifts you, or a story that weighs you down? You are the author. You can turn the page. You can write a chapter where abundance flows, where peace replaces fear, where possibilities open like doors you never knew were there. It all starts with a single decision to tell a better story.